Parsun engines are built to conquer the seas with rugged power and smart innovation. Some have outlasted boats twice their size. Here are the 15 best Parsun marine engines ever made. 15. Joy 6.0 Electric 9.9 HP equivalent. Imagine gliding across the water in total silence, yet feeling the same punch as a traditional gasoline engine. Sounds impossible, right? The Joy 6.0 flips the script on everything you thought you knew about boating. It's an electric outboard with the raw muscle of a 9.9 horsepower gas engine. But it delivers that power without a single drop of fuel. Perfect for lakes, eco zones, and silent night cruises where stealth is key. The battery tech behind Joy 6.0 is mind-blowing too. Lithium-ion packs engineered to withstand thousands of charge cycles without fading. And get this, in 2023, a Joy 6.0 powered a record-breaking solo journey across China's largest freshwater lake, Poyang Lake, without needing a single mid-trip charge. If you stick with me, we're about to step up into engines with even crazier stories and even wilder reputations. 14. T5.8 BMS 2-stroke 5.8 HP. At first glance, you might laugh at a tiny 5.8 horsepower engine, but legends are born from the most unexpected places. The T5.8 BMS proves that small engines can pack serious adventures. Weighing just under 20 kilograms, this engine became a cult favorite among solo travelers who needed fast deployment and rugged reliability. It's so light that in a famous rescue operation off the Guangdong coast, fishermen used a T5.8 BMS-powered dinghy to pull a stranded larger boat to safety during a typhoon scare. Its simple two-stroke design means fewer parts that can fail, a lifesaver when you're miles from shore. And despite its size, it offers nearly 4.3 kilowatts at the prop, making it surprisingly punchy against tides and currents. If you think this is impressive for a compact engine, wait till you see how Parsons midweights changed boating history forever. 13. F8 BMS 4-stroke 8 HP. There's a secret weapon among solo sailors and weekend adventurers. An engine so quiet and smooth, many think it's barely running. The F8 BMS shows how precision engineering can transform even a short trip into a masterclass in reliability. With its whisper-quiet 4-stroke system, this engine became famous for powering stealthy fishing expeditions along China's misty Yangtze tributaries. It offers a balance that many outboards struggle with. Light enough to carry solo, but heavy enough to take on rivers, inlets, and coastal winds without hesitation. At 8 horsepower, it's perfect for those who need reliability without the roar. And here's a little-known twist. Parsun designed this engine's combustion system based on Japanese marine patents from the 90s, improving it even further to outlast competitors in saltwater conditions. However, the real evolution happens when lightweight precision meets unexpected bursts of power, and that's exactly where we're headed next. 12. F9.8 BMS 4-stroke 9.8 HP. One extra horsepower may not sound like much, but in the boating world, it can mean the difference between drifting home and racing the tide. The F9.8 BMS was built with one mission in mind: be the perfect portable engine with serious survival instincts. Sailors across Europe started calling it the invisible hero after dozens of oceanic racers used it as their emergency backup motor during harsh regattas. It weighs barely 40 kilograms, but pushes hard enough to fight heavy currents, and that's exactly why it's trusted in offshore conditions where seconds matter. Another hidden gem? It's designed with an over-rev protection system, meaning if you throttle too hard, the engine adjusts itself to prevent catastrophic damage. And as we climb further into this list, we're stepping into engines that not only survived the sea, they conquered it. 11. T15 BMS 2-stroke 15 HP. When the waves turn and the winds get ugly, there's one engine that old-school fishermen still whisper about at docks. The T-15 BMS earned its reputation the hard way, the fighting brutal river currents and hauling heavy loads when everything else broke down. This rugged two-stroke machine became a lifeline in Southeast Asian river communities, where it powered ferries, cargo boats, and rescue vessels through monsoon floods. Its simple design means no complicated electronics, no fancy systems, just raw power ready to roar when you need it most. And the lore runs deep. One famous story tells of a T-15 BMS surviving a full 12-hour salt immersion after a boat capsized, only to fire up again with nothing more than a carburetor rinse. However, if you thought durability was impressive here, the next model adds a whole new dimension of clean precision to the battle. 10. F-15 BMS 4-stroke 15 HP. Sometimes evolution isn't about more power, it's about smarter, cleaner, tougher design that reshapes what's possible on the water. The F-15 BMS took everything people loved about the old-school two-strokes and made it smoother, quieter, and far more efficient. This 4-stroke twin-cylinder marvel is perfect for anyone who wants serious thrust without waking up the entire bay. It features an incredibly durable overhead valve system that keeps the engine cooler under stress, ideal for hot climates and relentless long-distance runs. Here's a hidden advantage. The F-15 BMS uses nearly 40% less fuel than a comparable two-stroke in daily operation, which over a season could save hundreds of dollars for frequent boaters. And if you think the mid-range power of this engine is impressive, you'll be stunned by what Parsun unleashed when they climbed into the 20-horsepower territory. 9. F-20 4-stroke 20 HP. There's a tipping point in boating where small becomes mighty, and 20 horsepower is where serious adventures start getting serious. The F-20 was designed for boaters who needed lightweight speed without sacrificing endurance. With its ultra-efficient 4-stroke architecture, it quickly became a favorite among inflatable rescue teams in Southeast Asia, especially during flood missions where engine failure meant disaster. Its balance is legendary. Portable enough for solo installation, yet powerful enough to push a heavy-loaded inflatable at nearly 25 knots. Built with advanced anti-corrosion protection, it's also one of Parsons' best survivors in salty, humid coastal zones. Here's something few realize. During field tests, the F-20 consistently recorded up to 30% longer lifespan compared to older mid-range models, even when exposed to extreme environmental abuse. However, when raw strength meets old-school simplicity, that's where the next engine earns its legendary stripes. 8. T-30A BMS 2-stroke 30 HP. Power, grit, and old-school engineering. Some engines are built to survive wars, and the T-30A BMS feels exactly like one of them. This two-stroke powerhouse gained fame in rugged marine zones where maintenance options were almost non-existent. It became the go-to engine for remote fishing villages stretching across Southeast Asia's Mekong River Delta. What sets it apart? Brutal simplicity, minimal electronics, tough metal casing, and a design so forgiving that owners joked you could fix it with a rock and a prayer. In 2015, after a brutal typhoon in the Philippines, dozens of fishermen credited their survival to T-30 powered outriggers that kept running even as 60-mile-per-hour winds ripped across the bay. And in true warrior spirit, the T-30A BMS delivers quick, snappy acceleration with a throttle response that leaves heavier engines looking sluggish. As the horsepower climbs even higher, what happens next completely changes how boats dominate open water. 7. T-40 2-stroke 40 HP. When fishermen needed an engine that could take a beating and come back for more, they turned to name one without hesitation. The T-40 is a beast that earned its respect across some of the harshest waters on Earth. Built around a no-nonsense two-stroke design, it's brutally effective for heavy loads, rough seas, and punishing work schedules. In coastal Vietnam, there's a legendary shrimping fleet that still swears by the T-40, calling it the engine that refuses to die. after surviving 3 major typhoons. Its ruggedness isn't just folklore. Its mechanical simplicity means it keeps going even when battered, soaked, and slammed by salt water year after year. And what's even crazier? The T-40 has been known to pull in barges, double its weight class during emergency supply runs after storms. However, engineering alone isn't enough anymore, because next comes a breakthrough that changed small marine engines forever. 6. F30 EFI 4-stroke 30 HP. Innovation hits different when you feel it at the throttle, and the F30 EFI turns small marine engines into high-tech masterpieces. The moment you hit the start button, electronic fuel injection takes over, delivering instant power without choking or sputtering, something carbureted engines could only dream about. During a 2021 Coastal Endurance Challenge in New Zealand, an F30 EFI-powered dinghy completed a grueling 12-hour non-stop run without a single engine hiccup, earning praise from veteran boaters. The F30 doesn't just bring reliability, it elevates performance with ultra-precise fuel management, better mileage, and a smoother acceleration curve. Plus, it's been stress-tested for extreme temperatures, making it just as reliable in freezing Nordic fjords as in tropical monsoon zones. But while tech changes everything, sometimes raw, unapologetic horsepower steals the show, and that's exactly what's waiting in the next spot. 5. F50 EFI 4-stroke 50 HP. There's a moment every boater dreams of, the first time you push forward and the boat lifts clean over the water. The F50 EFI brings that moment to life with a roar you can feel through your fingertips. Built with advanced EFI tech, this 50 horsepower marvel transformed family outings into full-blown adventures. It's famous for towing water skiers, pulling heavy pontoons, and blasting across lakes with effortless ease. In one unforgettable story from Australia's Gold Coast, a group of first-time boaters managed to tow 2 jet skis and a raft all day without a single performance dip, all powered by a stock F50. The secret? An oversized intake manifold that delivers more air and faster throttle response than many higher-priced engines. But as impressive as recreational power can be, the next evolution sharpened efficiency and endurance like never before, and it redefined expectations. 4. F60 EFI 4-stroke 60 HP. Not all engines are built for lazy weekends. Some are designed for the relentless, the ambitious, and those who chase every horizon. The F60 EFI isn't just an upgrade, it's a full transformation into serious offshore capabilities. Built to survive salt, spray, and endless hours at wide-open throttle, the F60 quickly became a favorite among professional fishing crews and marine biologists conducting long-range research trips. During a 3-week expedition off Madagascar's coast, an F60-powered craft clocked over 200 hours without a single mechanical fault, earning respect in global boating forums as the engine you want when it's life or death. It's armed with high-efficiency, multi-point EFI, allowing sharp throttle precision even under sudden weather changes. However, as horsepower climbed into the wild 90s, Parsun introduced a machine so fierce, it carved legends into the ocean itself. 3. T90 2-stroke 90 HP. Some engines don't just move boats, they command oceans, rewriting what small vessels are capable of in the wildest conditions imaginable. The T90 is one of those rare machines, with a raw 2-stroke punch that feels almost uncontrollable at full throttle. This 90-horsepower beast became the engine of choice for daredevil racers and remote island traders alike. In the chaotic Pacific Island races, where small boats slash across open ocean swells, T90s are often the weapon of choice because of their brutally fast hole shots and dead simple mechanics. One famous crew from the Solomon Islands nicknamed their T90 the Lion, after it helped them win 3 championships, even outrunning much bigger boats with double the horsepower. And with almost zero complicated electronics, the T90 can be field stripped and repaired, using little more than pliers and grit. However, when smart technology meets pure muscle, a new ruler rises, and that's exactly what came next. 2. F85 EFI 4-stroke 85 HP. When engineering caught up with ambition, something extraordinary happened. An engine that combined relentless strength with whisper-smooth control. The F85 EFI represents the new era of marine power. Fuel-injected precision that delivers maximum thrust with minimal fuel burn. It became a favorite among coastal patrol teams and commercial fishers who needed endurance, agility, and low maintenance rolled into one dependable package. During a brutal 1,000-mile endurance run from Gudong to Hainan Island, boats powered by the F85 finished ahead of schedule, with no refueling stops for over 12 hours straight. The advanced cooling system allows this engine to maintain peak output even in 100 degrees Fahrenheit tropical heat, a critical edge during long missions. And with over 90% fewer emissions compared to early two-strokes, the F85 not only dominates the waves, it leaves almost nothing behind. Still, one engine sits even higher, the ultimate marine weapon Parsun ever built, and it's coming next. 1. F115 EFI 4-stroke 115 HP. At the peak of performance, there's no room for luck, only raw engineering excellence, built to conquer oceans, storms, and time itself. The F115 EFI is Parsons' undisputed masterpiece, a 115 horsepower Titan built for offshore fishing, heavy-duty rescue missions, and pure adventure. This engine features electronic fuel injection with an ultra-wide gear ratio, allowing seamless low-speed control and brutal high-end bursts when needed most. It's famously based on one of Yamaha's most successful designs. But Parsun didn't just copy it, they refined it for even tougher marine conditions. During a typhoon alert in the East China Sea, fishing vessels running F-115s managed safe evacuations, traveling over 150 kilometers in 5-meter swells without a single mechanical issue, a feat that earned the engine deep respect in commercial fleets. Delivering smooth torque curves, near-instant acceleration, and long-haul fuel economy, the F-115 doesn't just win races, it writes legends across the water. If you love this journey through Parsons' greatest engines, don't miss what's coming next. Tap the video on screen now. Your next adventure is just beginning. Thanks for watching.